This is the New York Sports Machine on WICR.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Roommate Rivalry. Kevin Walsh alongside Joe Janis into segment number 2. We're going to be talking some fantasy football. Now we are we're in a league together. We got a roommate league. I mean, that's the true definition of some roommate rivalry there.
You know, this is the first time I'm wearing these. Just sorry to interrupt you.
How's it feel?
Feels weird.
You not like it? He's got the hat on. You can still wear a hat. You can put the hat on.
See, wait.
And then put the headphones on.
But do you see what team it is? This is the only team you could do that with.
The Yankees.
Thank you.
Because the Yankees, it still looks good with the Yanks.
Oh, there we go. That's a little better.
All
right.
So, and I think honestly we're probably going to keep you guys up to date week by week on the fantasy season. Now, last year, you got to give the man his credit. The commissioner, a.k.a. the boss,
Really?
Joe here, did win the league some pretty convincing fashion. Had Marshawn Lynch, Aaron Rodgers, and Antonio Brown. I know what you're thinking. How do you guys let him get all of them? Some people picked Doug Martin in week 1. Some people just made a lot of mistakes.
Some people still pick Doug Martin this year.
Hey, it's bounce back year.
Yeah, I know, bounce back year.
Now in week 1, I'll give you an update of how the crew did. Because we actually all played one another, ironically enough. 10-team PPR league. I played Ant. Now, the real reason Ant didn't show up is because I beat him by 70. He took the week off because I think he was ashamed. And Joe lost in a nail-biter by 9 points to Petey, strictly because of Carlos Hyde.
Yeah.
Carlos Hyde went for a Monday night best 31 points.
That's crazy.
And just absolutely went off. But
that's 2 years in a row I lost him first game, you know that, right?
Last year that worked out as a winning formula.
And last year he beat me by like 60. He had Calvin Johnson and Stafford who went off on the Giants.
Oh my goodness!
You remember that, right?
Oh, I was in Monday night.
I just got to bounce back, man.
Yeah.
And you just got to say the same.
I gotta try to keep.
Last year next week.
Last year I was in the race for last. This year, hopefully, different story. Playing the Lumberjacks, Jack Logan.
Nice.
And Joe will be facing off against Tom Tantanillo.
You know what that means, right? If I'm facing Tom,
what's that?
That means Peterson's gonna go off this week. So.
Yeah, because AP did. Yeah,
he didn't do nothing.
That's an AP owner. And is in a game with his heated rival David Giacomino, who, for anyone who keeps up with my stuff, has seen Dave plenty of times, can understand why that is the case. And then Petey is going up against Ryden Hines of Iona College's basketball team, actually.
Nice.
So we feature the athletes here. We have connections and stuff. We're going to be talking about some week 1 studs.
Okay.
So someone who may be impressed might be available out there on your waiver wire if you need a pickup after week 1.
I think we both agree with this one. That first one.
You want to start, or you want me to start?
Say the guy.
Tyler Eifert.
You know what? I have to let you say too, because we do own him in Ultimate Team, and Walsh loves him in Ultimate Team, Madden.
Listen, you know what? First of all, if you play fantasy football, you should get yourself some Madden Ultimate Team. It's a great game, addicting to be honest. So make sure you get your homework done.
Keeps you up to like 6 in the morning.
It may have kept you up till 5 a.m. You never know. But you know, Tyler Eifert's a beast. Probably the greatest tight end you'll ever see.
No,
okay, I'm kidding. Of course.
Slow down there, buddy.
I do think that Tyler Eifert is going to have a very good season. Now, he's not going to get
Eifert out of
Notre Dame.
Thank you. Fighting Irish.
Week 1, 9 catches, 104 yards, 2 touchdowns. Had a monster week. You know, and now people may say, and you're looking out there, can you count on him? Is this going to be what we see from Tyler Eifert? Obviously not, you know, but can we count on Tyler Eifert more games?
He did play the Raiders.
Absolutely, who looked terrible. But I think the answer is that
the past 10 years, who looked terrible.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's kind of the consensus thought.
After the Tuck rule, they went downhill.
Poor guys. And then Charles Woodson got hurt too in that game, which is so sad.
The only hope.
And then Adam Pac-Man Jones is banging Amari Cooper's head off his helmet.
That's right.
A lot of bad stuff going on for the Raiders. Derek Carr just got injured. I'm sorry, Raider fans, if you're tuned in. But I think the answer is you can trust Tyler Eifert. He was supposed to be a big part of their offense last season, but got hurt.
First game, right?
Yep. And then, but in the preseason, impressed. And I think that we've seen that Andy Dalton really trusts him.
Mm-hmm.
It's very when Andy Dalton plays football. In all honesty, he throws the ball to AJ Green.
Mm-hmm.
That is what he has done in order to keep him in this league. You look at AJ Green's time in this league: 116 targets, 164, 180, and then last year he only played 13 games but still had 116.
That's crazy.
Andy Dalton throws AJ Green the ball a ridiculous amount of times.
They really haven't had
They've never had much else. But he only targeted him 8 times, only had 5 catches, and you saw AJ Green have a bad week. Now, I'm not saying that Tyler Eifert is going to get more targets than AJ Green.
I don't think so, but
definitely not.
I think he's the next man.
But I think Tyler Eifert is going to be consistent. I think that's going to be his second favorite choice.
Mm-hmm.
And if there comes up a time where he feels like AJ's getting locked up, because AJ Green, when you're scheming for the Bengals, you're throwing your best corner on him, and he's going to have safety help over the top, and that gives Tyler Eifert some favorable matchups. And I really think that Tyler Eifert this year,
linebackers or anything, and he can beat him.
I think Tyler Eifert this year is a guy that if he's out there, unless you have Gronk, Kelsey, Graham, of course, but
you could pick him up.
Let's say you drafted early, and let's say you drafted, Julius Thomas. Let's say that was your game plan. He's out right now. And you couldn't find a good tight end week 1. I think Tyler Eifert's your guy. If he's out there, you need tight end help, go and get yourself some Tyler Eifert.
Yeah, I agree with that. He had a great week. 9 catches, 104 yards, 2 touchdowns.
It's a big week.
They play in San Diego, who did lock up Calvin, Golden Tate, who locked up the whole.
I mean, the Lions' offense though was just
not
a shell of themselves.
Calvin had 2 catches.
Yeah, 2 catches on 4 targets. It was a rough game.
Yeah.
Now, someone that you think should be picked up in leagues.
Okay, after this first week, I'm gonna have to give it to James Jones, on the waiver wire, of course.
Yeah.
He's on the waiver wire in many leagues. I don't think he's owned. Or maybe someone.
Unless you hired the same guy that Jack Logan did. Now, I just want to say, Jack. Jack is someone who 2 years ago in fantasy football took the Giants defense round 3. Okay? Now, Jack has got a guru, someone who told him to pick James Jones up before this.
Had him on the bench.
So I don't know who Jack's guy is, but we know that he exists. Now, unless you have that same guy, James Jones probably available in a lot of leagues.
And I think you should pick him up. I honestly do believe so. Randall Cobb would be. Everyone would think he'll be the number 1 target for Aaron Rodgers. There's Devontae Adams, who has high hopes for the team. But James Jones came through in the clutch with 2 touchdowns.
Absolutely.
And I think he had 4 receptions.
He had 4 catches. Now here's the thing about James Jones. He's a touchdown guy. Again, because there is a difference if you're playing in PPR and standard. The standard value is going to be there much more. Here's the thing, though. Think back to last year. Now, Jordy Nelson is his number 1 receiver. That's his go-to guy. That's the guy he relies on.
And still.
But Randall Cobb dogged because of all of those touchdowns. He had the most red zone touchdowns of anyone in the league. Now, you think about that, and you have to put that to say, well, now Randall Cobb's being guarded by number 1s. Mm-hmm. He goes to James Jones, a guy who he's trusted before, and that's going to get James Jones those red zone targets. James Jones was inches away on a pair of times. James Jones could have a 4 touchdown game.
I think Aaron Rodgers is that quarterback who doesn't just go to one receiver all the time. He spreads the ball a lot.
Absolutely does.
Even he throws them to his tight ends who no one knows that really. But I think James Jones is going to stay consistent with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. So
I think there's going to be. I think James Jones is going to be a guy who he's going to get you a good amount of touchdowns. He'll probably.
He's not going to go. I'm not saying James Jones is going to be your number 1 receiver.
Absolutely,
number 2.
Right,
maybe throw him in the flex.
Yeah, but he could be a nice,
but a nice
flex
pickup.
Play. If you're playing in the 3 wide receiver leagues and still a flex, and you really have to think about it too. James Jones is a guy that definitely can make an impact. The waiver wire, after week 1, it's not going to be loaded with guys that you trust. Mm-hmm. But that might be a guy that you turn your eyes to.
Especially he's a veteran. It's not like he's just a young player.
Been around there.
Veteran, playing with Aaron Rodgers.
Again, that's the thing, too. He's been there before.
Oh, 100%, yeah. I'm surprised you didn't say this guy. Who's someone, I mean, It's funny to think of. But you were very hyped about this player this week.
And you had a good week or a bad week?
Great week.
You had a great week, and I was excited about him.
Very excited. Just take a guess, but you want me to give you a hint?
Yeah.
He scored, I think, the most offensive points for his team.
Scored the most.
It was a defensive game with 2 pick sixes.
Who was it?
He could be a kicker.
Oh, Brad McManus? The GOAT? Listen, if you're out there and somehow Brad McManus goes undrafted, change your game. Okay, if you had Adam Vinatieri giving you -1 and he's the number 2 kicker taken, you messed up. Go get you some McManus, okay? That is the guy right
this
there.
kid 18 points.
You gotta know how to draft your kickers. Championships are won and lost by your kickers, okay? Pair of 50-yarders. He looked like he could have ate a sandwich while kicking those things.
Thank you.
He was, woo!
57-yarder, right?
And then a 56 right after. No big deal.
See?
No big deal. There's a guy that I really want to ask you about because week 1, a huge fantasy injury happened. A huge one.
Okay.
Des Bryant.
Yes.
That's big.
Huge.
A lot of people's first
And
round
at
pick.
first they said it was going to be 4 to 5 weeks. It ain't 4 to 5 weeks. You heard his injury, right?
It came out with more?
Yeah.
What happened?
Came out like 8 to 12.
Oh boy. I may or may I own Des
I thought
Bryant
you
in
told
the
me
league.
that too.
I thought it was.
We looked at me and my other roommate JP. We looked it up, and it was longer than that. It's longer than 4 to 5
Wow,
weeks.
that's not good news. Now, I mean, this really is now going to beg the question here of someone's got to step up. Jason Witten is not going to catch, 100 balls this year. I'm sorry, and that team isn't going to run the ball as much as they did last year. Terrence Williams, is he a must-add?
Yes, because he is the number 1. He is the number 1 for the team. Tony Romo's going to want to sling it. He's going to sling the ball, especially if he is put into situations or where he has to. But he looked great when slinging the ball. Yes,
Romo.
Yeah, Romo Sunday, and I could trust Romo as a quarterback. I think he is a really good quarterback, and I think Terrence Williams could have some good games. He scores touchdowns.
Yeah.
Last year he had some touchdowns. I think he's a pickup if he's available. If he's a pickup.
Okay.
If you want to add him into a trade or something, just because he's going to be the number 1. I mean, if you're a number 1 on a team, I feel like you should pick up a number 1 receiver on a football team. You know what I'm trying to say?
Definitely.
Like they're the number 1. They're the best guy for your quarterback.
Now I'm gonna put you in a situation here, like a start-sit scenario. Okay. You got to start one. You got to sit one. You got Terrence Williams.
Okay.
Okay. Going up against the Eagles defense next week.
Okay.
Who just got torched.
Maxwell.
Byron Maxwell did not only get torched by Julio, he got torched by Roddy White. He did not look good. Now, my computer's slowing down here. I cannot remember who the Saints play next week.
Same.
But Brandon Cooks, who struggled.
They played Tampa Bay.
They played Tampa. Okay. Well, all right. That might make it a little bit easier. But would you start Cooks or Terrence Williams? How easy of it is it a decision if it's not?
To be honest, I have Cooks. He disappointed me week 1. But I think he's going to rebound, and I'm going to put Cooks in front of Terrence Williams.
Okay.
What about you?
Me? I would still go Cooks because I still think that Drew Brees is going to have a good season. He went up against Pat Pete. That's not a favorable matchup, so I kind of have to, give him that edge. But here's because I'm trying to, go by tiers here.
Okay.
Terrence Williams,
Okay.
or Andre Johnson, who if no Ty is going to be covered by Revis.
Terrence Williams.
Now that says a lot because Andre Johnson's owned in every league. Andre Johnson is guy that's taken within the top.
Andre
60.
Johnson went against who for the Bills?
Stephen Gilmore.
Yeah. And what'd he do?
Did nothing.
Did nothing. He's going against the best corner in the league. And if he has a game, Andre Johnson, honestly, Andre Johnson,
I apologize.
I'm sorry. Because Revis is the best corner in the game. And I think he's going to lock Andre Johnson up. And it's going to make it much harder for Andrew Luck. That's only if T.Y. doesn't play. If T.Y. plays and Cromartie might not be back, or even if he is back, I think Andre Johnson will have a solid game that game.
So all right, so say Cromartie's playing and covering Andre.
The thing is with Maxwell for the Eagles, he did go against Julio. He got beat by Roddy.
But Roddy's still a good.
No, he's still a good receiver, but it's week 1. I have to. That's the thing. I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
He could come back and play great the next week,
For sure.
or he could be like, who's that corner that they got from the Raiders, the Eagles? Vince said he was the dream team.
Dominican's and Nnamdi Asomugha.
Yeah. Or he could be like Nnamdi Asomugha, who they give money and decides he wants to take a little vacation. And
That dude's irrelevant, man. You want to talk about the most overhyped pickup of the century outside of Trent Richardson.
that was, yeah.
Headphones don't work.
Nah. I was just trying to talk. Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
They do work. I don't like it. But yeah, I'm still good. I'm gonna go with Andre if T.Y.'s playing. I'm gonna go with Terrence Williams if T.Y. is not playing.
Okay, I think that is I think that's pretty fair. Now I'm not sure if you have one, but I do have one that I just want to quickly say before we head to this quick break. I think that Amir Abdullah is gonna have a big week too. Their offense struggled, but maybe the one bright spot was Amir Abdullah. He looked much better than Joyke Bell.
Joyke Bell, I didn't even see play.
He had a lot of success. They had a lot of success early on in the game, and early on in the game is when Amir Abdullah was running. The Vikings' run defense obviously looked horrible because Carlos Hyde had the best week of any running back.
I mean, if they looked good, I would have won my first week.
Yeah.
But, you know.
So I think that Amir Abdullah is a guy that you can start him.
I had a feeling. It's just I never got the chance to pick him up in my fantasy. I had a feeling he was going to be really good in the league.
I couldn't tell.
Really?
I didn't know.
Because I had no faith in Joyke Bell. I had no faith in him.
No, I didn't want Joyke Bell at all.
Exactly. I had no faith in Joyke Bell. And I really thought he was going to get the chance to play the number 1 and be number 1.
Carlos Hyde was just ranked a little too high for me, and I couldn't get him. You know? Like, if it were...
Yeah, but you had faith in Carlos Hyde. From last year,
No,
I was a Carlos Hyde owner last year.
I didn't touch Carlos Hyde last year.
Last year, in one of my leagues. Had him on the bench all year.
Yeah.
He didn't do nothing.
Like, but I'm saying coming into this year, I didn't know. I didn't know what he was gonna be.
Exactly. I mean,
you know?
if you took the risk to draft Carlos Hyde, and he
paid
paid off week 1.
Definitely paid off week 1.
You got to see how he plays. Obviously, that you can say anything. It's week 1.
Absolutely.
But from what he showed, he has potential.
Yeah. We're gonna go to a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna preview week 2. We're gonna give our pick'ems a little more extended though. We got some time, so give you a little more in-depth analysis. But stay with us right here on WICR. Kevin Walsh, Joe Janis. You're listening to Roommate Rivalry.
Thank you.
This is the New York Football Radio Network.